I'm WG, and it's time we have a quick talk about substats in CZN to prevent you from having regrets later down the line. And that is the flat stat versus percentage stat dynamic. As we've learned from a bunch of games before, in general it is always better to go for the percentage amplifier than it is to go for the flat amplifier because it's a multiplier. But that is not the case in this game. So, at minimum, the baseline conclusion, I'll obviously show you some more intel, is flat stats and percentage amplifiers for attack and health are basically equal, if not the flat stats being slightly superior, and for defense it isn't even close. So what am I talking about? Let's for example have a look at this goblet. Now this goblet has void damage, it has extra damage, attack percent and crit chance. So obviously the most valuable stat is crit chance, but here you'd be like, I mean at least it has percentage based attack, right? Like for example, let's say you're looking for that perfect piece and it didn't roll attack percent but something else, you could have underestimated this piece. So this piece has 2% in attack and it has a plus 12 in attack. So 2%, we then take a look at our Renova's value. 2% actually only translates to 8 attack. And that is due to our, character values being so low. You're kind of used to get these values going into like the thousands, the tens of thousands in different games. But here we're still in that like sub 1000 category, which means that all of a sudden a Renova at 437 attack only gets 8 attack from a 2% boost, whereas on this piece right here, you can see it right there, we have a plus 12 in attack, and then all of a sudden, flat attack is just straight up better. And it's not like that's just a, oh, but she's only level 50. If we take a look at my Rin also only has a base of 485. Right, so right here, maybe even a better example, we have a piece that has crit chance, that crit damage, ignore the side effect, and it has attack percent at 3%. 3% seems pretty decently high. Now, let's take a look at the full number. It says 612. Now, if we swap out this 3% piece for this rather inconspicuous plus 14 in attack, boom, all of a sudden, we're still on 612. And that is just for attack. Like for example, look at these values. You have 485, 394, but only 161 in defense. Let's go to somebody else like a Khalib. Our Khalib has a attack stat 361, defense of 161, and then HP. So what were to happen if we, for example, find one of these claws? So here we have a claw that gives us a... Let's see if we can find a fitting one. That gives us 1.2% defense. If we equip this one on our Khalib, you can see we are up to 196. Obviously, the big defense comes from the pad now, right? The 33. So we are now up to 196 on a 1.2% defense. And on this piece right here, we just have a defense of plus 9, and boom, already 203. We are that much higher. It's a difference of 7 points. So what I really want to like convey to you here is that at minimum defense flat is way better than defense percent. We're talking obviously substats, right? Because for the right side stats you still want your percentage amplifiers, your percentage multipliers, but at least when it comes to substats, flat stats for defense are way better, and for attack at minimum tie it, if not superior, depending on the kind of rolls you get. So just because a piece doesn't have full percentage amplifiers doesn't mean it's trash. So that then gives us, you could say, like the general DPS hierarchy, in that your main focus is still going to be crit chance due to it being currently the biggest damage amplifier. So you have your crit chance, but then you have kind of like your attacks, your crit damages, and your defense flats, right? Attack flat, defense flat, and crit damage. The attack flat for attack based characters, defense for defense based characters, and then after that would be only the attack percent, and then like the defense percent, and then obviously you have like the same thing being true for supports. So there's no need to stretch this any further than it needs to be. I just wanted to kind of like bring that up to you, open your eyes to it, and yeah, I do find that very, very interesting, and I think it mitigates a big amount of RNG in getting these pieces in, for example, how you can use both attack percent or attack flat, or even get both together on a single piece, and it is not a bad thing.